Welcome to another video in my channel. In today's video I'm going to show how to set up a Cisco Business Series switches from scratch. So I will unbox and start from scratch step by step. So when you turn on the switch for the first time, the switch doesn't have any IP address by default, and you need to just plug a network cable to one of the ports on the switch. The IP address of the switch is 192.168.1.254. So you need to set an IP address on your laptop in the same range, then you can access the switch configuration. So I will move on my laptop screen and I will record the rest of the video on there step by step. So stay with me. Okay. After I turn on the switch and plug my laptop directly to the switch, I came here on my laptop and I need to set an IP address in the same range of the switch. So the IP address of the switch by default is 192.168.1.254, and you need to set an IP address in that range with the subnet mask of 24, like this. So any number between 1 and this octet to 253 is working. So I put just something like 25. And I will hit OK. Now I will test the connectivity by ping 192.168.1.254. So you consider that you can plug the your laptop to any port of the switch. And this is the by default switch IP address. So then I will continue in my browser and I will go and put the IP address of the switch 254. So default username and password is Cisco, and it will prompt you to change the configuration here. So like this, you need to define a new username and new password. Like I will put something like admin, and the password, for example, something for myself. And hit apply. Okay, now I will connect with my username and password I just defined. Okay, for the first time, when you log into the switch, here is some specification I will go and explain one by one. When you click on the system summary, it will give you an overview of the switch, like the port numbers, which port is on and off, also which services are enabled by default. You can change the host name or name of the switch, like now this one is the host name. I can edit some information, like click here. So you can define a location, contact, like this is the name of the switch. I will call it, for example, switch 1 or SW1. That's the logon banner. So that's the welcome banner. If you need to do more, I will just click on here. So as I applied the name of the switch was changed here. Okay, one more time, I'm going to hit back here. You can create a VLANs, you can create a port settings. So suppose that you don't know anything about the switch, and I consider that you have a little bit information about the networking and what is the VLAN. So the manager asks you to create some VLANs, some lag ports, and do some work with spanning tree. So this tutorial is very basic tutorial for you to set up switch ports, like create a lags, create a VLANs, assign a VLAN to the ports, and some works like that. It's not very advanced, and this is just for basic setup. In port settings, this is the list of the ports. As you can see, I am connected to this switch on port 3. So when you click here and click edit button, so you can change the administrative states of the switch and make it up and down. This is the port speed, this is the flow control, and much more here you can set. Also, you can put a description for your switch ports. You can choose the port number here and then apply the settings. Okay, I will start with create some VLANs on the switch. You need to click here on the VLAN management, VLAN settings. So find this one, click on add, and put, for example, something like VLAN 101. You can create a name for it. I will call it, for example, workstation, and apply. On this VLAN, my workstation will communicate with each other. So I will create something for my management, like I will put it VLAN 99 and I put a name for it, apply. Okay, now your manager asking you to create a link aggregation. So the link aggregation is doing like binding the port to each other logically. So it means you have several port, like physical port in the same. Let me show you here on the page. It is like that. You have a switch here and you have a couple of ports. You can bind them like this. So the traffic will be sent over this lagging information. So they are logically one interface, but physically multiple. So by this means you have a redundancy and higher bandwidth on your switch. For set up the port aggregation, you need to go on the port management, link aggregation, lag management. So click here and then click edit. Like I want to create a lag management, for example, on port 23 and 24. You need to name a lag for it, for example, lag 1. That's the name for your lag. That's the LACP. This is more advanced and it's for Cisco Link Aggregation Control Protocol. I don't want to go on the advanced topics. So this is very basic tutorial for set up the switch. For now, you can enable it, but if you enable it here, you need to do it on the both side. It means if you have another switch, you need to create a LACP to each other to talk. So for now, I will don't do the LACP and I just go here, just click on here, like 23 and 4. Okay, these ports are on lag 1 and click apply. And your manager asking to create this port as a trunk. So you have a multiple VLAN in your network and you need to send the traffic on different VLANs. Like it's your uplink and it's connected to a uplink switch or a firewall. Now you need to go here on VLAN management, click on the interface settings, then click here on the port on the lag interface and click on go. So here is your lag. So the default setting is access. You need to modify it to a trunk and like sending the traffic over the lag. You need to click here and click on edit. Then you need to toggle to the trunk and apply. So by this way, you change your lag 1 to trunk. So you can send the multiple VLANs on your trunk. If you don't know the VLANs, let me to explain you. Look, so you have a multiple, like this switch is 24 port. So you can separate the switch logically. For example, 12 port on VLAN 1, like the other 12 ports here. For example, here VLAN 101 and VLAN 99. So the traffic between these VLANs are not talking to each other. So every VLAN is the broadcast domain in the network, and they are not talking to each other. So for talking to each other, you need something to route this traffic of this broadcast domains to each other. So you need like a layer 3 switch or router. So I'm not going to advance topics, just a very basic explanation. Okay, now your manager asking you to send the traffic of the VLAN over this trunk. You need to go here on the port to VLAN membership. Then you need to toggle this one to lag and click on go. By default, all the VLANs are allowed on the trunk. And suppose you don't want to do that. You need to just send a specific VLANs on this trunk. You need to click on the join VLAN. And as you see, this is the native VLAN. So the VLAN, the trunk is the way working when you send the traffic. You have a native VLAN and also the tag VLAN. So when you have a VLAN, the traffic will be tagged between the switches. So you can send the untagged traffic over the VLAN. For my case, like this is VLAN 1. And I just need to send the traffic of the VLAN 101 on this. So that's the user define. So I will define it here and apply. Okay, when I close it, as you see, it's changed. So for my trunk right now, the VLAN 1 is untagged and VLAN 101 is tagged traffic on this VLAN. So later you can add more based on your requirements. Now your manager asking you, for example, to assign the VLAN 101 to port 5 to 10. So you need to go here on the LAN, on the interface, on the port manager, on the port VLAN membership. Click here, join VLAN, and because by default they are access, so the traffic from the switch will be untagged. So this U means untagged. As you see, there are some explanation for this. So U is untagged member. I need to ask, for example, this one assigned to VLAN 101 and port 2 to 99. So I'm going here, click on join VLAN, access the VLAN ID, I will assign it 101. And when I click on OK, apply, so as you see, it's changed to 101. So another scenario, you need to set this port number 2 to VLAN 99. So I will here again join VLAN and set this one to VLAN 99 and click on apply. Okay, as you see, it's changed to, oh sorry, I did it wrong. That's for multicast. So this one is 99. Click on apply. Okay, as you see, it's changed to VLAN 99. So in another scenario, your manager asking you to create a trunk, for example, for port 10, and on the trunk, change the native VLAN and send another traffic. Like you have a phone on your network and you need to assign the port to that. So you need to send the tagged traffic to your phone and untagged traffic to your workstation. That's the real scenario in the network. So I'm going here and create a VLAN like VLAN, for example, 104, and I call it name it phone. So now in my network, I have a VLAN 104, and your manager asking to set up this port to send the traffic to the phone as a tag traffic and send the workstation as on tag. For this scenario, you need to go here and you need to create one of the ports as a track. For example, port 10. I need to go on the interface settings, find port 10, click on edit, and you need to make it as a trunk because there is a phone in the middle. So now this one is changed to trunk. Then you will go back on the port VLAN membership. So as you see, this one is again by default sending all the VLANs on this trunk. So you need to click, choose, and join the VLAN. Now here, I need to send the untagged traffic on the native VLAN on this port for workstations to VLAN 101 and send the user defined as a tag traffic for phones on VLAN 104. So when I click apply, so there's something that happened here. As you see, the untagged traffic for my workstation is set to VLAN 101, and the tag traffic for my phones is set to the phone VLAN. So that's the real scenario you will face on your network. Other things in the switch I need to explain about that is in administration statistics. So here you have some explanation about the ports, ACLs. I'm not going to explain about the advanced feature. I will give you some tips how to set up your switch. So I'm going to talk about this LLDP and CDP. So they are very useful features on the Cisco switches. You can find the neighbors. Suppose you connected both switch on the network, and these two protocols, LLDP is stand for Link Layer Discovery Protocol and CDP stand for Cisco Discovery Protocol. So they are for finding the neighbor switches in your network. CDP is just for Cisco proprietary, and LLDP is a standard protocol. I don't have any devices attached to my network right now, and as you can see, it's just showing my laptop. This is my laptop. So that's LLDP neighbor information. So it's showing on the port number, that's my port, that's my MAC address. And if I click here, details, it gives me more details here. If you have a switch, definitely you will get the IP address of the switch. So this is very good features to find what's going on in your network. Also, for your switch and access to the network, you need to define an IP address. Here, right now, by default, this is the VLAN 1 default IP address, which is 192.168.1.254. Still, you can have another IP address on the management interface or management VLAN. If you, in this case, I need to define a static IP for example, VLAN 99, and I put something like 172.16.20. whatever 251 and define a mask. I'm not going to do that because right now if I apply, this interface IP will be added here as a VLAN 99 because this IP address is default, and if I do that, I will lose access to this switch. So right now my switch doesn't have IP statically, and I will lose access. So we make sure when you do that, this is the last step in your configuration. Otherwise, you will lose access, and probably you need to plug your plug your switch to a DHCP or connect by a console cable. So make sure that's the last step for you. Also, for save the configuration, can you see that one on the top? So you need to hit save and it will save the configuration. So that's the mandatory steps before you shut down your switch, or if you don't do that, you will lose all the configuration on the switch. Another thing I can explain to you guys about sometimes these switches IP the username and password will expire in 6 months, and you don't want to do that. You need to have a permanent uh, username and password. For that case, you need to go here and toggle to the advanced settings. Then go to security settings and find here login protection status. No, sorry, login settings here. So sometimes this check is enabled on some of the switches, and it forces you to change the password in 6 months. And that's it. For checking the logs on your network, you can go on the getting a start on the top. For change the password of the switch, you can plug here. That's more advanced features on your switch for like define ACLs or QoS, spanning tree. That's advanced. I'm not going to explain it in this video. This is for absolute beginners. Here is your system summary. It's showing you which port is connected. That's the shape. This port here is for console cable, and you have a 4 ports here as uplink. You can plug a module and connect SFP or uh, extra ports. It gives you flexibility here. So right now the TCP status here, TCP UDP service status, like the telnet is disabled. You can click here on edit, and by checking here you can enable the SNMP. You can enable the telnet SSH. Like here I'm enable the SSH, and I will click apply. So for check the logs, just click on view logs, and here is the logs here. So right now when I plug my laptop cable, this port is getting C. This one is for my laptop is connected. So it's showing me the logs. It's showing my IP address. It's showing a new connection from my laptop, which is my IP address here. '25. It's showing that I have a connection from my laptop and it's accepted and connected to this switch. So that's the basic setting for set up these switches, and by that way you learn how to create a VLANs, how to create a lag interface, how to change the ports from access to trunk, how to save the configuration, enable the telnet, change the logs, device backup configuration here. You can get the backup to a USB, to a TFTP. That's more advanced, but that's good to know. Also for upgrade, you can choose a file here and upgrade your switch from here. I have another tutorial in my channel for upgrade the switches. For change the time settings, system time, you can go here and you can change the time from here. Right now it's not right, so I'm unchecked because there is no DHCP, and I will change it. So today January 21, and I can change it to whatever I want, and then click on apply. Let me see what else I can here. Here you can reboot the switch, ping, trace route. I believe that's enough because my video is going to be very long. And this is enough to how to do the initial setup on the switch and get it up and running. For more advanced features, I suggest you to find lots of video on the YouTube. I'm not going to explain what is the ACL or what's the QoS. There are more advanced topics you need to find out, and I will probably create a Vlan in future, create a video in futures. I hope you learned something from my video, and if you like it, please subscribe to my channel for more tips for real world scenarios. Thank you for your watching.